Ladies and gentlemen, please excuse this incident which occurred. There was a server error which happened just now, a 90k error, which is likely due to the result of another DDoS attack, which this has been going on for quite some time in the game, and it can be really quite annoying. So I apologize for that very, very abrupt ending there. That will kind of make this video split up, of course, which doesn't make me very happy about that, but shit like this happens, so we just kind of have to take it as is and move on. It is a Square Enix problem, of course. They'll have to figure out how to counteract this issue. But other than that, let's try to continue, I should say. I mean, if we get another 90k error, I just might decide to just end the rest of the lore here, and we'll try and continue later today, if at all possible. But anyway, let's try this again. Hopefully don't have any more issues like this arising. Back to where we were. Alliance forged renewed once again. Again, formulating plans to assault key checkpoints against the Empire and kind of push Gaius van Belzar to the brink to where he will either surrender or will have to destroy his ultimate weapon in order to secure peace and victory for Eorzea. As the plan was discussed with the Scions in more minute detail, the Twin Adder would block off their castrum and also pave a way towards northern Thanalan. And there they would join up with the Immortal Flames, who would be pushing on northern Thanalan's front and sort of push them into the castrum. Meanwhile, the Maelstrom would be putting pressure on Castrum Meridianum so that their supplies would be cut off and they would not be able to receive any extra help from afar. The free companies and adventurers, of course, their role in this is they would aid where necessary or where needed. The Admiral had handpicked me for a specific task in mind, of course, that being leading a team of adventurers to assault Meridianum directly. All the while, the Warrior of Light and his team would make their attack here in western Thanalan, and once victory secured here, he would rejoin the main force with the Flames and the Adders, the Twin Adder, and they would push inside of the castrum, or rather I should say the Praetorium, sorry. And there, they would find and destroy the ultimate weapon, thus forcing Gaius to give up his conquest of Eorzea. A flawless plan, to be sure, but precautions were needed, as Elfino had emphasized quite strongly that should Gaius turn the weapon on us, then our backup plan would be to make us retreat make a swift retreat and regather our forces until the Maelstrom is able to provide additional backup, as well as the various free companies scattered about the battlefield. I'd heard, just before departing again for Lenocia, that armored Imperial with whom I fought earlier would be in charge of the checkpoint here in Western Thanalan. So before departing, I had told the Warrior of Light, the Icon Slayer, to make sure to hit him extra good just for me. To which he did a stoic and silent nod, with his beaming grin, to reassure me he would do just that. All the pieces were finally set in, and the campaign's begun. They'd learned that the Adders were successful on their front, and so thus we began our launch attack. Leading my forces, of course. We charged the castrum, taking out as many of the Imperials as we possibly could. Our mission, however, was to not completely eradicate the forces, but rather to take down the head of this castrum and make the remaining forces surrender peacefully, without resistance. The Maelstrom paved quite a nice way for me and my allies, my team of adventurers, and we fought our way deep into this castrum. It is here that we found the leader of the castrum, as well as a very strong, influential figure within Garlemald's military operations here in Eorzea. That being the Imperial Prefecture Nero Tolskeva. decked out in his red Magitech armor, wielding his Magitech hammer. He was somewhat surprised that a band of sellswords could make their way past the military here, as well as the mecha that barred our path. Of course, he had already factored this in, that we were quite skilled, and so decided he would test us for himself. He was quite a formidable foe, to say the least, and held his own against me and my forces. And just as our victory was reassured against him, he decided it was wiser to make his retreat, rather than stay and fight a losing battle. I did not wish to let him escape, however, and so I tried to get through as fast as I could. But he had summoned a lot of strong mechs to bar my path. So before I could get to his ship that he was escaping in, it was already too late. This had caused me quite a big amount of frustration, as he had escaped my grasp. However, my comrades assured me that he would not get too far, and that if we did cross paths again, he would not escape. With that small comfort in mind, I decided it was time to launch the counterattack. And so as we did, we met back up with Maelstrom forces. And we forced the remaining soldiers within this castrum to surrender.